Coming up on this edition of the ZTV Sports Report, could the men's basketball team keep it rolling against Miami before their bracket buster with Oral Roberts?
With Bowling Green in town, could the Lady Zips rally to knock off the top team in the MAC?
And we give you a closer look at a Zip that you may know for knocking down the three ball, but there's much more to the story.
All that and more coming up on the ZTV Sports Report.
Welcome into the ZTV studios. It's the Sports Report, back with you for another week of everything Akron sports. I'm Stacey Salvi, and this is DJ Johnson.
Wow, what an intro, dramatic pause. I don't know if I deserve that.
Yeah, you don't.
Well, all you're doing is keeping the people waiting. Let's get into that sport with the peach baskets.
They don't play with those anymore. It's been like 120 years. Anyway, Keith Dambrot and company jumped back into MAC East play this past week as Julian Mavanga and the Red Hawks look to stop the Zips' 7-game winning streak.
The Wednesday night showdown would be win number 19 for the blue and gold if they could slip past Charlie Coles' squad. In the early going, Chauncey Gilliam cashes in 3 of his 14 on the night. The Red Hawks would hang in tough in a back-and-forth first half as Quincy Diggs here with the nice behind the back. Follow that up with a beautiful putback by Nick Harney. It's locked up at 33s at the half. Miami would refuse to go away. That can be tough to do at the Jar, but ultimately defensive breakdowns and really mental breakdowns allowed the Zips to build a double-digit lead. Now UA up 68-55 with just under 2 to go as the shots weren't falling for the Red Hawks. Things started to get chippy as a late game technical gave Akron the 74-59 W.
To catch the full-length post-game thoughts of Coach Dambrot, log into ztvsports.com. ztvsports.com brings you our YouTube page featuring press conferences throughout the season, as well as full episodes of the Sports Report.
Now the Zips temporarily stepped out of conference play for a matchup with an impressive Oral Roberts team and ESPN's Bracket Busters as the game was featured on ESPN2 Saturday afternoon.
The Zips could not pull out win number 20 as they fell to the Golden Eagles 67-61. Akron made a late run, cutting an 11-point halftime deficit to 1, but never took the lead on Saturday. The Zips were just 5 of 22 from downtown and 24 of 58 from the field. Alex Abreu tied for a game-high 16 points with Oral Roberts' Dominique Morrison. Nick Centenovich was the only other Zip to reach the double-figure plateau.
Now that we have you caught up on what's in the past for the men's team, it's time to preview what's ahead for the Zips.
We send it over to D, and, well, it's just D at the update desk.
Thanks, DJ and Stacey. Yes, I'm holding it down by myself this week as Decoy is out day-to-day with a cold, but definitely looking forward to having him back for our next show. Now, jumping to the men's schedule, Bowling Green will come to the Jar on Wednesday. The matchup will be the second of the season between the two teams as it took a 10-footer from Nick Harney with a second left to give the Zips a 56-55 win. Although BG sits right around the 500 mark, they have 4 guys that average around double figures, which is tied for the most in the Mid-American Conference. Now the Falcons have finished 5-1 in the MAC West this season, but have struggled inside the division. After BG, Keith Dambrot and company will take on a tough road test in Ohio as they travel to Athens to take on the Bobcats. When OU came to the Jar on January 11th, the Zips were able to squeak out a 68-63 victory. The game was tight for all 40 minutes as the biggest lead for either team was 7 points. The Bobcats have slipped up in their league play as of late, but they do have the reigning MAC Player of the Year, DJ Cooper, who's putting in almost 14 points a night and dropping over 5 dimes. So it's obvious that picking up a pair of wins this week will be crucial for UA to get that #1 seed in the MAC tournament. A bye all the way to the semifinals would be huge for the Zips. Now, with you caught up on the men's team, let's bring out one of our Zips trivia questions for this week. Who is the active leader in blocked shots for the men's basketball team? Stay tuned for the answer and women's basketball coming up after the break.